Hey guys, Ouija here, back today with the deck tech. Today I just wanted to go over the Aggro Riptide list that I took to Nationals. The way I like to do my deck techs, I just like to go over each card, briefly explain why they're in the deck and the best use cases for them. So let's just get started with the equipment. First we have Bullseye Bracers. It's either this or Long Draw Half Glove. I wasn't too impressed with Long Draw Half Glove. It's obviously good against things like Warmongers. But overall, I still think I like Bullseye Bracers better. This could change whenever the new aim counter gloves come out. I think that's going to be insane paired with Murky Water. So, but for right now, I think in the aggro list, Bullseye Bracers is better. The best target for this obviously is your Bolton shots to give it that +1, give it the go again. Just opens up a lot of plays. So we have Bullseye Bracers. Next we have Crown of Providence. This is, I guess, kind of controversial because a lot of Riptides are playing New Horizon. I'm not too much of a fan of New Horizon. I tried it. I just think there's so much Arsenal hate right now. It's just, I feel like you're constantly trying to defend your Arsenal with, they're playing CNCs, they're playing Leave No Witness. It's just, and a lot of times, even with the 6th card that you get from New Horizon, it doesn't always like do what you want it to do. It's not always relevant. So like a lot of times you could just trench it away and, you didn't really get the value. And Crown of Providence, I just like the fact that it allows you to get a 5-card hand on demand, set up a big turn. So if you have an Arsenal 4-card hand, then, say your 4-card hand's insane, you need like an extra card and it would be like really insane with the Snapdragons, the Bullseye, like the whole thing. Crown of Providence just allows you to get that 5th card whenever you're ready to pop off. And I'm just a big fan of it. Next we have Death Dealer. Obviously the bow of choice in our aggro matchups. The draw card is just insane. Nothing really needs to be said here. Dreadbore, extremely strong in the matchups, like new warriors, anything that runs defense reactions. Dreadbore just eats them alive, really. It makes things super awkward for them having to arsenal their defense reactions, and it's just, Dreadbore does a lot of work in those matchups, so that's why we play it. Quiver of Abyssal Depths, we don't really have a better quiver, unfortunately. This doesn't really come up too often right now. Games aren't going to the point to where you need to recycle cards. Really, I use this for whenever like news are trying to disrupt your hand. Say they do get the hand disruption, they're going to look at your hand or whatever. I just like to sometimes dump my hand into the Quiver of Abyssal Depths and just save the cards that I want instead of them getting discarded or banished. So that's really what it's for. It's just like a pitch outlet. And, say turn 0, you just, don't have like the best hand and you just like want to cycle your hand. You can just pitch in the Quiver and just get rid of the junk that you don't want. So yeah, there's that. We have Snapdragon Scalers. Nothing really needs to be said here. Everything in the deck is a target for Snapdragon. Allows explosive turns. Trench of Sunken Treasure. There's been a heated debate. Some people are trench gamers, some people are Tunic truthers. I think more people are on the side of trench. I just think trench allows for I like Tunic, but I think you have to build the deck super specific for Tunic. And even so, it's like, if you have 1 card left in your hand and it's a trap and you don't arsenal it, you're basically IPing yourself. But say you presented damage, your opponent blocked with 2 cards, they have 2 cards in their hand, they could just be non-blocks that they couldn't block with and can't do anything with. You arsenal the trap thinking that they're going to attack you, you can at least block with it, and then they end up passing turn. That is just like the worst case scenario. Then you just kind of like handed full tempo back to your opponent, and that's just not where you want to be. So for right now, Trench is the chess piece of choice. The Arcane Barrier is nice as well. I like I said, I think Tunic has its place, but just not in this deck. Then let's go into our main deck. We have the 3 red Bolton shots, 3 yellow Bolton shots. Just good overall, pumping the Bolton shots, giving it go again. Just super good. Like I said, these are just good like bullseye targets as well. The reload sometimes is irrelevant. It's kind of a mind game with your opponent to where, Riptides generally can just reload whenever they want. So a lot of people don't block this because they think that the reload won't matter. Sometimes it does matter, and you do get the reload, and you can arsenal another 0-for-4 arrow or whatever and shoot it. So that's really nice. Then we have the 3 red drill shots. Nothing really needs to be said here. It's just good value, 0-for-4 arrow. If it hits, put a -1 on their equipment. A lot of people, they'll feel like they have to block this or they're losing value. It's just overall good. Putting the -1 on their equipment is super relevant. Then we have the 3 endless arrows. Endless arrow, just super good, especially in the late game when it's basically hammer for 4 and they have to give you 2 cards, and if they give you the 2 cards, and you can pretty much get tempo back in the late game. Or say you have like a triple buff turn, triple buff endless arrow, they can't block at all, you snap it, bullseye the endless arrow, and it's just a huge like 18 potentially more damage turn if you have like Blaze with Blood Rod or whatever. So yeah, endless arrow is just staple. We have the 3 enlightened strikes. Just a very flexible card. You pretty much always use this for go again and +2. Rarely do I ever draw a card with it, but I mean, it's still an option. Yeah, E-Strike's just super good, and you can even premeditate E-Strike coming for like 10. That's also super good play. We have the 3 red Falcon Wings. This card is good, but I'm not like super sold on this. Like Falcon Wing, it's super good if you can arsenal it and lead it into your next turn and like just start with the Falcon Wing, because no one ever blocks it, and it's basically a 3 free damage. But if you like lace a Falcon Wing and shoot it, it's still good, but like the breakpoint of 6, they just give you 2 cards, avoid the on hit. That's my only gripe with it, is that they just block this pretty easily. But like I said, if you can start with it going into your next turn, then it's super good. Red and yellow infecting shots. Red infecting shot, just super good value. I mean, comes in for 5 Blood Rod. That's a 1 resource, like 7. It's insane. The yellows still comes in for the breakpoint of 4. Threatens a Blood Rot. I wanted the extra yellows in the deck for the Dreadboard matchups. I just felt like the current yellows that we were running just wasn't enough like yellows to effectively use 2-card hands all the time. Sometimes we had like a 1-cost arrow, and you couldn't really, like, having to pitch into Dreadboard, load a 1-cost arrow, pitch something else, shoot the arrow is just not where you want to be. I wanted the extra yellows, that way you can pitch a yellow, Dreadboard, shoot the 1-cost arrow. It just made it smoother in my opinion. And the yellow infecting shot, like I said, so it comes in for the breakpoint, so threatens a Blood Rot, very good against Enigma. These can also be yellow sleep darts. It's really up to you on like what you want to target. So, but yellow infecting shot's still good, very good. Lace with Blood Rot, the best lace that we have. Potentially a 0-for-5 if they take the Blood Rot damage. Nothing really needs to be said here. The Lace with Frailties, also pretty good. Really good against like Levia, good against New. It's okay against Zen. Good against Rangers, can be relevant. So we play the 3 Lace Frailty. Lace with Inertia. Lace with Inertia is the second best to Blood Rot, in my opinion. I think Inertia and like Seek and Destroy, denying arsenals, like just one of the best things you can be doing. Not allowing them to get a 5-card hand. Keeping your opponent on 4 cards is like where you want to be, especially when you're playing Dreadboard. Then they cannot play the defense reactions at all. So yeah, Lace with Inertia. Premeditate is insane, mostly because it's the next time an attack action card hits, you create a Ponder. So if you like Premeditate a Bolt and Shot, it's coming in for a breakpoint. Say they blocked it or whatever, it's like, okay, cool, I have another attack. Like, you're gonna get a Ponder off Premeditate more often than not, and that value is just insane. Ravenous Rabble, super good card. Just I think my favorite thing about this card is just looking at the top of the deck just to see what you're gonna Death Dealer into. So you get to decide what arrow you want to play. So yeah, Ravenous Rabble, you're sad when it comes in for a 3 or 2, but it is what it is. That doesn't really happen often. Remorseless, the best arrow against Zen. He has to respect this arrow. If it doesn't block, he's going to have a big turn, and he's going to take a lot of damage for it. So yeah, Remorseless, and also good against the matchups that we run Sideboard in. They can't play defense reactions from their hand or arsenal, so that's really good. Searing Shot, just good value. Comes in for 4. They lose a life if it hits. Probably the best Codex target that we have, just because it can leak that extra point of damage. And we don't normally have the 1 resource floating to fire a 1 cost arrow, but if we do, obviously Infecting Shot becomes like your best, or Remorseless. But if you're just 1 card Codex, grab the Searing Shot, best thing. Seek and Destroy, just a better version of Lace with Inertia, makes them discard, keep them off arsenal. Sigil of Solace, one of my favorite cards in the deck. I will die on this hill. I just think this card should be played in Riptide. It is just super good. If you're going second, your opponent attacks, you can block, whatever. You can Sigil, load something, go into your next turn with a 5-card hand. It's just really good. It allows you to utilize like your entire hand a lot of times, especially like when you have tempo and you like fire your arrows or whatever, your opponent blocks out, they're just going to pass turn. It's just a free 3 health. It's insane. It's good arsenal bait versus CNC and Leaving a Witness. Yeah, it's just, in my opinion, you should be running Sigil of Solace, but just my opinion. Sleep Dart, good against pretty much every hero that's in the game right now. I mean, most heroes care about their hero ability besides like dash. So yeah, running the 3 red Sleep Darts. Codex of Frailty, one of the best cards in the game, just allows you to do crazy things. Yeah, just good 1-card hand, good, just crazy card overall. Rain Razors, we're running 1 of. I was on the fence between running like 1 or like none. Honestly, this doesn't come up as often as I'd like. I can see myself cutting this card completely. It just never seems to like come up at the right time, and I really don't want to run more than 1 because I don't want to run any non-blocks. Besides Sigil, but that's a little different. So Rain Razors, it's good. Like it can, high roll you into like some crazy turns, but it's kind of, I don't know. I feel like I see it when I don't really want to. So this card's okay. We have Buzzsaw Trap. All our legendary traps are insane. Buzzsaw is just super, super good against Azalea. Yes, they're running Dreadbore. This is another reason why I like Sigil of Solace. It doesn't always line up, but when it does, and I've had it happen quite a lot, they're running Dreadbore. You can, if you have Arsenal, you can trench it away, Sigil of Solace to Buzzsaw into Arsenal, block with your Crown of Providence, whatever, Buzzsaw Trap, and you just win the game, pretty much. Like, you block a 15 dominated arrow with the Buzzsaw, and, when they're running Dreadbore, you would have had to set this up on the turn prior, but like I said, with Sigil of Solace, loading your Buzzsaw becomes a lot easier to get that into Arsenal and play it. So yeah, we have Collapsing Trap, crazy card, not super good against Zen, but it can ruin their turn. They can play around it, so it's like, I don't know, like it's not as good as it used to be. It's still insane. It's better against like the brutes. It's better against like even like Enigma. Good against Prism. Like, I think it's better against those heroes than like Zen. More oftentimes Zen just doesn't really care, but it can blow them out. It just depends. Then we go into our sideboard. We have the 3 Frailty traps. This is probably like the weakest trap in my opinion compared to Inertia and Tar Pit. Just because warriors aren't like super relevant right now. It's still good against like Leviah. Still good against Ranger. It still gets its value, but we mostly play it because it just triggers the go again, and everyone has go again. And it's just easy to trigger, like on Enigma, things like that, just to get the points of damage in. Then we have Inertia Trap, running 3 of. Inertia Trap is insane. Just everyone's buffing their attacks right now, and denying them their arsenal is just super good. Like, along with the point of damage, just Inertia Trap is insane. Murkmire Grapnel. We play this versus Prism and Enigma, and whenever we fat stack against Warriors or any of those long matchups, it's just a, you know, when we fat stack, it's still just a 0 for 4. You can pump it up and still get on hits through. So Murkmire Grapnel is a staple in this meta. We have Tar Pit Trap. Tar Pit, super good against new whenever they lead with a dagger, and you Tar Pit the dagger. You know, they play their bonds, they buff it up, doesn't do anything. You know, it's kind of like they can play around it, like if they just bonds whatever, buff it up, you know, they don't have go again, so the Tar Pit wouldn't trigger. But if they lead with a dagger and you do that, then it can make their turn awkward. Then we have Spike Pit Trap. The least relevant legendary trap, but you know, you still play it for new, and you get to any warriors. Other than that, it's not like super relevant right now, but you know, it's still there. So that's the deck. I think Aggro Riptide is the best version of Riptide right now. There's a lot of different versions of Riptide floating around. A lot of people have been experimenting with the aim counter stuff. I do think that's good, and it has, like, it will have its place, especially with the new aim counter support. I think that this deck is going to change completely just because of those gloves giving something an aim counter on demand. Like, the Murky Water is just, I mean, it's just an insane play. Just gloves, Murky Water for like 10. It's, yeah, super good. So this is the deck currently. I do think this deck is going to change and could lead more into the aim counter type stuff whenever the Azalea deck comes out. But we'll see. So that's super exciting, super interesting. That'll be a nice, fresh way to play the deck. But yeah, hope you guys like this. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Like the video, let me know what you want to see. And yeah, until next time, thank you for watching.